Okay, so welcome everyone again. This stream will be on YouTube after this session's over, or after this stream's over. For those that aren't here or come in late or watching later, as always, if I give something, it's going to be given in my channel only for Unity Academy. Those that are watching elsewhere, join Unity Academy. Only place that has consistent streams, in my opinion. All right, let's jump into it. So Bitcoin. The reason why I canceled my short, well, first of all, let me get a clean chart here. And we'll talk about it from scratch. Okay. So, okay. Grisati, that's exactly what I was going to bring up, the head and shoulders. So yesterday we swept the lows, okay? And for those that don't know about, external and internal lows, this was the external low. This is the swing low. This is the swing high, right? So these would be external, and then anything that has highs, these would be internal. So we swept the external lows. Now I mentioned that we would have this is the range low. This is the mid-range level. Okay, this is mid-range, and then we have range highs here. And I'll go back to my other chart in just a moment. Now, we swept the external low. This was support. I was actually hoping that we would get a deeper retrace. We didn't, and that's okay. But in my video that I made, I said that we would get a capitulation wick. Okay, that was when we were around 93 or 94K. This was that capitulation wick. We had a huge wick, and then we reclaimed range lows or sorry, mid-range level, and then we continue to go higher, right? But I was hoping that we would get a deeper wick into the 88 to 85K. That's okay. It's still not out of question, but on a lower time frame, we have a little BOS here. Now, I saw this little supply zone. It's not super strong because again, it's only a few candles here, but this was one of the shorts that I was going to take. Now, this one right here. This was the setup that I had. We got a nice reaction from it. Okay, we had resistance here as well. That was flipped to support, but then back down, turned to resistance. So you had a whole lot of confluence here to take this short. Why did I cancel? Well, last night we had spot leading. Okay, we had a good, I think, $30 or $40 premium, and right now it's a little bit under. Okay, so again, the short was perfect. I was just trying to protect capital because we saw this wick right into resistance, and to be honest, that resistance was a better place to short. The risk to reward here wasn't that great, and although we could still go down to this 93K level and put in like I said, a BOS here, right? Like on a lower time frame, higher time frame, we are still in a downtrend, but um, we have, right? Like we have these here, made a lower low, right? Into a lower high, into a lower low, back above this, come back down. We can still make a higher low here and have a short-term break of structure, but still on a higher time frame, we can still go ahead and reject from here, putting in another lower high. So we have multiple impulses. Excuse me. But the place that I would rather short is going to be this resistance here, also the golden pocket, all right? That was the first short that I took. I took the swing highs, okay, to the swing lows here, and that was a perfect rejection from the golden pocket, so I did the same exact thing. Took the internal highs here to this swing low to get this golden pocket around 98.8K, okay? So that was this is a better short to take in my opinion than this one, although this one was a nice scalp move. I'm not, I don't have any regrets for closing that, and like I said, every cancel trade that I make, I do, it works out perfectly. I gave it, from even like before Unity, like every cancel trade that I've made worked out well. So maybe in the future I just leave the trades as is, but I had a lot of confluence telling me to close it, and again, I have no regrets. So I'm still going to take this short. This one I'm not going to cancel. We should still reject from here. Now, how low we will go is undetermined right now, or TBD. But we're still going to range, in my opinion, between 102 to like 90, up until maybe, February, mid-February. Um, we want to range because we want alts to run. Okay, if Bitcoin continues to rally along with Bitcoin dominance increasing, it's going to be, let's go to Bitcoin dominance. Okay, it was a good area to reject from yesterday. I was teaching this in my class. We were going over Bitcoin dominance. We had a rejection which allowed alts to run, but we have an inverse head and shoulders here. Okay, target of that is around almost 60%. Now we are still in an uptrend on the higher time frame. Okay, like if I were to draw this trend line, okay, we are still above this trend line. We've reclaimed it. All right. And right now, if Bitcoin continues to rally, right, breaks throughout this range and goes higher, we're going to have what we had over here. Okay, this whole entire run. Now, Bitcoin led the rally. Alts actually went down. If you take a look at Sol, while this was going up, Bitcoin dominance was going up. Sol was down. A lot of alts were down too, slowly grinding up, but in comparison to Bitcoin, it was nothing. Okay, if we have that same exact move right here, alts are going to suffer. So we want this to consolidate. And if you take a look from like March up until September, when this consolidation was going around, and it wasn't horizontal, it was more of a downtrend consolidation, which is exactly what we're having here. But if you take a look at this consolidation, you saw that a lot of alts ran, all right? And I can show you an example right here. Let's take a look at, for example, Link. Okay, so from March, okay, we continue to go down, but then as soon as we got to the low point, right, here is November, whenever we got to like August, while August was completely down a little bit higher, we just went up in Bitcoin for like what, like 15%, 20%. Meanwhile, Link went 224%. Okay, and even if you take it to like the highs of November, okay, before the election, here is the right 100%, whereas Bitcoin only went up, right, like 70%. So we want this to happen. We want the range as much as possible, and we want to focus on alts with strong BTC pairings. Okay, right now those coins are going to be XRP and Dogecoin, in my opinion. Those should be the two focuses of everyone's choice of trade. Dogecoin because of the narrative with Elon Musk, and also I think when Trump goes into office, the first day or the first week, the Doge initiative is going to go into place. Okay, so I think that's a good narrative if you are actually going to want to long Doge. Then XRP, right? Gensler's leaving. Gensler's leaving. He had his exit interview today on, I think, CNBC or whatever the news network was, and we've been rallying, and I'll cover XRP. But in the meanwhile, we want this to range. Okay, we don't want to rally because if this rallies, alts will sell off, Bitcoin dominance will continue to increase, and then we have to wait a little bit longer for the rotation into alts. All right, so don't be focused on looking for all-time highs on Bitcoin. I think again up until mid-February or sometime at the end of February, beginning of March, hopefully we have that move up, which will be the blow-off top, like something like this. Blow off top maybe to like 120, 130-ish, and then completely down. Okay, that is if this is in the cycle top. All right. So that is what I'm expecting, and I still haven't changed my stance. Although, I expected a move down to 88 to 85K. I don't expect Q1 to not be bullish. There's just too many factors that, are painting way for a green Q1. All right. But that being said, don't expect coins to put in, like you can't expect last cycle's coins to put in new all-time highs. A lot of coins won't make new highs that they just put in. All right. Like for example, Link might not go from here back to 31 or 32. It could, but again, this is the last quarter, in my opinion, of growth. Okay, so some coins will put in multiple X's and some will not. All right, so you just have to find those coins, and those coins are going to be found through strong BTC pairings and narratives. All right, so you might have like another narrative of RWAs or AI coins. Like AI coins are putting in multiple X's currently. All right, and people are talking about alt season. They're happening in small niches. You just have to find that niche and be early. Okay, you gotta do your own research. You can't rely on everyone to hand feed you things. Okay. Um, so that is my Bitcoin analysis here. I think we still range. I'm going to take that short around 98K still. I'm not canceling that one. If we get stopped, we get stopped. But that was the reasoning for why my short at this one was canceled. Okay, and again, I have no regrets here. I'd rather look for pullbacks on Bitcoin. And speaking about pullbacks, if we do get it, this would be the area where I'd be looking to get in. Okay, if we get a pullback into a higher low at this order block, I'm definitely going to get in around 93. Okay. Now stop loss placement's a little bit tough on this one. Usually you would go below the wick, and that's totally fine if you do. Just lower your position sizing. But if we can get a hold around this mid-range level, and it's getting weaker and weaker with every single one, but we just had a sweep of liquidity, so it should be, relatively okay to bid there. I'll place my stop loss below 90K, and we'll target 102. All right, this is what I'm looking for. Again, if I take this trade, I'll give it in my channel, but this is what I would be looking to long. All right, anywhere from 93.5 down to 92K is a buy zone. You can actually DCA at 92K. Okay, so this is just the mid-range level. I'm going to make that blue. Entry is around 93.6, DCA at 91.9ish or 92. Okay. Now let's take a look at ETH. Right. ETH. Right. We actually swept the lows here. Let me take a new chart here. Let me see, just make sure this isn't my. Okay. ETH again. Same thing. We didn't get that deep retrace into my buy zone. However, this isn't completely over. This was a perfect. I went over this on my video, right? I said as soon as we have this sweep here, you would go ahead and long with the stops below the wick. We closed there. You could have longed. Now it wasn't a great R&R here, but we had the swing failure, got a nice move up, but we are at resistance, and I'm still going to be taking that ETH short if we get it. That hasn't changed. It's a very, very weak spot still. I expect ETH to hopefully outperform Bitcoin in the next, 2 to 3 or 2 to 6 weeks. Maybe a rejection here. It's going to be a slight rejection, but I do think that ETH will eventually put in a hated rally. If we do get this buy zone around 28 to 25, 2400, that is still a buy zone that you're going to buy. Now, if I were to remove here and look at this, okay, this just looks like a giant inverse head and shoulders. Okay, totally fine. We can still come back down to here and still bounce. right? As long as we are not below the head, we are totally fine. But with ETH right now, it's not moving as strong as Bitcoin. Alts aren't as strong compared to Bitcoin on this move back up. Yes, they bounce, but right now the focus should again still be on Bitcoin. And as long as we are ranging here, right, you want to focus on the strong alts, like I said, Doge and XRP. But right now we are at resistance. We're actually not at resistance. We're looking back at the lows here to possibly put in a reclaim, but we haven't broken structure like Bitcoin did, right? We are still putting in higher, lower highs and lower lows. So if you are looking for a long, I would look for either first a reclaim of this resistance or previous support, okay, or looking for something like this and then a higher low, stops somewhere above here, and then target back upper range, okay? But we still need to reclaim this before we take any strong or good longs, in my opinion. But if we reclaim it, this would most likely be your trigger for a swing long. Now, you can do something like this. The R&R is terrible, but break above, put in a higher low, just like how Bitcoin did, right? It broke above and possibly putting in a higher low for a move up to here. You're looking for the same exact structure on ETH, all right? Otherwise, like I said, we're going down for that $2,800 level, but on a lower time frame, if we do get a small retracement here, we could take a small long scalp. Okay, something like that. Okay, come here, possibly put in a higher low on this end, and then go a little bit higher. Okay, let me see something. No, we have no divergence or anything forming. But I would like to get that long. It's around 3,077, 3,080 is the entry, and then stops below the wick. Okay, so I'll put that here. Otherwise, you have this conditional trade, wait to break up, break market structure, come down, put in a higher low here instead of down here, and then long as a reclaim back to 4K. So I'll put these back here. Let me get rid of this garbage. Okay. And the short at 34.60-ish or whatever it was is still valid. And this shitcoin, okay, just like Bitcoin, just like ETH, we swept the lows here, right? I would love for us to go back down to my original bid, and then maybe I'll replace it. But if we can go back to here at 180-ish, I'd be looking to bid that. Okay, stops below the wick, bid around 179 or 180, DCA at 175, basically my original bid, because we still haven't had a break of structure, right? This just looks like a sweep, and that was the perfect sweep of this one, but we could be looking at double bottom here. So if we go back down, okay, this would be a triple tap pattern, right? You have first tap, sweep of this, come back down into a triple bottom, right? And then go higher from here. That would also be putting in an Adam and Eve pattern where you have the neckline, here's the V, come back down again, double bottom, and then break out, reclaim, and go higher. So this setup is still valid. That would we would definitely fill it if Bitcoin were to go back down to that 93.5K level that I put. So this is still valid. And if we go back to this level here around 216-ish, I'd also be looking at a rejection. This rejection here that we had was very firm. Okay, we had an order block rejection. So very, very firm. I still expect us to reject from here. Now, like I said, I expect Q1 to be bullish, but it doesn't mean that you can't take short scalps. So something like this does make sense. Okay, probably back down to, now, don't know yet. We have to wait until price action to form, but something back up to there, to here. You can have a tighter stop, but I'll see once we get to this point. Back to here, right? Then again, you have a huge double bottom, then you have an Adam and Eve pattern there. But if we are able to reclaim this level here and go above, right, there's no reason why we shouldn't go to 300, okay? And again, here's the downtrend. Okay, this would be a breakout, but here's the stronger Adam and Eve pattern, right? The longer that we take the base to form, I would love for this bit to fill. Then look for a short hedge around here, right? And then any small retrace into the green zone, you can add more to your longs and look for a breakout. But the most important level here is going to be this green box or this green zone. So 218 to 220-ish, 225 is the level that we need to flip before going higher, right? Other than that, like, focus shouldn't really be on Sol. This would be the strength confirmation for that $300 move. Okay, so I'll put both of these in chat. Okay, the other confirmation play, again, like I mentioned, a break above here, right? Would like to look for a breakout and retest. We had the breakout, we had the retest here, and then we went a little bit higher, but looking for the same exact play, right? Breakout, retest, and then stop somewhere below here. I can't give you that yet because we don't have the data, and target a move into this rejection point. Okay, XRP. Okay, now this is why I mentioned that retests are the most successful play. XRP, here's the daily first. Okay, breakout, there's the successful retest. That's where you could have longed on a shorter time frame to get the confirmation. Okay, we also have the demand zone that filled perfectly. Again, here was resistance. We broke out, flipped it to support, and then on its way up 11% from our average entry that we added to. Hopefully you guys are still in with me. And I'm honestly, like, let me get a perp chart here. Okay. Honestly, here is the range. Right? Here is your mid range, and here is your range low. Mid range is probably just a little bit higher. There we go. Okay. Right? Multiple levels of confluence. Okay, back down there. This is your range. Okay, we are back to range highs. Yes, it makes sense to short at range highs, but like I said, a range is a range until broken. When you are at range highs like we were over here, okay, I posted this many times. We went over it many times in streams of how to play a range. When we are at range highs, you play the mid range. When we are at range lows, you buy, sell the mid range. And again, we came back down to the mid range. I would not short here because we've had 1, 2, 3, 4 touches. We had the breakout and the retest on the daily. We have a trend. Okay. So everything, again, another possible rejection from there. So this morning was a perfect area to short. Stop should be moved break even, because if we go back up there, I think we're going to break out unless we take out this internal high and then come back down. But okay, maybe an inverse head and shoulders as well. This is very strong. Now, confirmation to, if you're not in and you want to long, would be a breakout, flip this into support, and then you long with your stop somewhere here, wait for the consolidation to happen. The longer we consolidate here, the stronger that breakout's going to be. Consolidation under resistance on an uptrend is very bullish. Okay, so if we consolidate and flag again, that's where you're going to want to long with, again, stop somewhere below support. But XRP again should be on everyone's radar. If we ever get a dip into this order block, you damn well buy. Gonna remove this. Okay, setup again would also be in confluence with a trend line test, so something like that, and target new highs. Okay, I don't know if we get that, but in case we do, 247 is your entry, stops below the low here, and you are targeting new all-time highs. Okay, now in terms of scalps, okay, like I said, we should reject here. Here is a demand zone. A possible, we have a larger demand zone here, but this should hold. You have also an SR point. We broke out, never retested. This is a good area to get long if we get that deeper retrace. Scalp. You can have a tighter stop if you want, 253-ish. And you're targeting this resistance here. Okay, so something like that. It's an SR point, should bounce from there. But I'm not looking to short. There's no reason to short strength or strong assets. Okay, so I'll post both of these and go back to, gonna remove that one. Now, just because we had a dip and we completely retraced the dip and went a little bit higher, doesn't mean that we're not going to get more dips. All right, we've had multiple 20-30% corrections last cycle. I do think that the bottom is in with that sweep, but it doesn't mean that we can't go back to 92, 93K unless we have some type of black swan event that we actually go and get the liquidity around 88 to 85K. I do think that the low that we put in yesterday is the low for the quarter. Okay. And last but not least, Dogecoin. And then I'll take some requests. I'll only do requests for 30 minutes, all right, because I gotta go. It is tax season, so I'm very busy this month. Well, this quarter actually. Okay, this was a call that I gave my students yesterday, but Doge. This is the pattern that I was talking about on ETH and Sol, right? We had inverse head and shoulder, a Adam and Eve double bottom pattern. There's the breakout, there's the retest, and a nice scalp move. Let me get another chart here. Okay. Okay. We have a falling wedge, right? We just possibly put in a higher low here. Okay. We do have strong resistance. So if you are looking for short attempts, this would be it. Very strong support as well that we lost. So a lot of confluence at that level. If I take the fibs from the high to low, okay, again, you have the 786 fib. I look to short this here. Okay, that order block along with the SR points, along with the 786 fib. This would be the short attempt that you would want to take if you want to short this coin. Again, I wouldn't want to short strong assets, but there are some degens out there who like to lose money. any dip into this area around 34.8, actually, not a strong order block. It's actually a very weak order block. Okay, but something like this would be okay. Now, we took these highs and closed below. All right, so this should reject from here and go a little bit further down. I don't know if we're gonna get this, but in the event that we do have a huge retrace, like I said, in the market, right, this is another setup that is valid. Okay, so we have three different opportunities for plays here. I'll post these in chat. And here is the Degen short. Stop talking about me. What's up, Justy? Let's take a look at Cpool. I can't. Where's my Cpool chart? Son of a bitch. I deleted it. Okay. Cpool. What in the... Okay. Cpool. Again, upholding the trend line here. Bounce where it had to. Okay. We need to reclaim this level for this to just be a deviation. Reclaim this. We will go higher. But again, this had a 20% from the low, I think from the lows up, 32%. Yep, from the lows, it did a nice job of bouncing 32%. Now, like many other coins, RWAs and the sector already had its pump. All right, so like I said, these small niches, these small narratives happen within days or a week. So don't be going into buying a coin and try and be like, hey, I'm going to hold until the end of the cycle unless it is a long-term pick. All right, this is my long-term pick. This coin can go to 0 or it makes me, 2 to 3x. All right, but if you are looking to tackle some short-term trades, if a narrative is coming out, for example, like meme coins, okay, like the meme coin cycle when it first came out with like dog with a hat and all the other garbage around that time frame, Popcat, those lasted a long time. You won't get that again, okay? Fartcoin is an exception right now, but eventually Fartcoin is going to die, and it's not going to pick up steam. Popcat and Dog with a Hat will have its, its revival, but it's going to be for a short amount of time. In my opinion, Sol meme coins are done for this cycle. All right. The focus is going to be on XRP meme coins, in my opinion, moving forward. I'm not going to get on that. I don't care for on-chain stuff. I'm not going to bridge. I'm not going to give the XRP an ounce of my time because I hate their community so much, along with the Sol community. But I do think that Sol meme coins are done. Okay, it doesn't mean they're not going to pump, but I don't think they're going to put in multiple numbers. All right. I got a, what do you call it? A DM from a Sol community. It was like, hey, we want to give you this NFT. I looked at it, it was worth like $2,000, and I'm like, no, thank you. If I got it, I was gonna burn it, but like I don't care. Like I don't care for the community. They're toxic. But it doesn't mean you can't make money, getting into their stuff, which is again why I got into XRP. New year, new me. Blah blah blah. XRP is going to do well in the next month and a half. All right, so that should be, like I said, everyone's focus. But with Cpool above this level, it's going to run. Below this level, if we resist again, look for another double bottom to form, double deviation, and that's going to propel this much higher. I still have faith in this. They got named the best and the most innovative RWA company by I think it was CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap. So very strong company with a lot of fundamentals, and I do think this is going to go much higher. So that's why I'm holding. Just need to get back above this 36 cent. All right. What other coins do you guys want me to look at? I have 20 minutes. Sui. Glad someone called that because I didn't want to look at it on my own. Sui is very weak. All right. Reason for that, it's got a bearish divergence in play. Where is... Okay, so price is making higher highs. Well, it did. And RSI is making lower highs. Okay, so this is very weak. It had its pump. It's still holding this ascending channel, right? But as soon as we lose that, okay, these blue lines are the levels that you are looking at. Okay, even on a lower time frame here, right? It's in a clear downtrend. Higher high, okay. It put in a higher low, then it put in a lower high, then it put in a lower low. Once we close back below that, made a lower low, this probably goes back up, makes another lower high, and then maybe another lower low. But until we can break this structure, expect this to go into a downtrend. So if you are looking to buy, either wait for a break of structure to the upside, or you're bidding lower. Those low levels are going to be at these points here. Okay. However, I don't know if we're going to get a deep retrace like that. Maybe if we go to 93K, we can. SUI BTC. Okay. Also looks disgusting here, right? It's on support. So if Bitcoin is to go down, right, this will go down much harder because it's not outperforming Bitcoin. So if you're looking to buy, I'd be looking to enter in around either a new lower low here, okay, and then once you have on a lower time frame a V reversal, right, that's where you're going to buy and look to sell at the next lower high. Okay, so I'll put this here, but there is a bearish divergence forming. Maybe this flags a little bit later on. Okay, fuck this. Let me go to a higher time frame. SUI was a strong coin. I still hope we get that $3.60 bid so I can, add back into it. But this is your buy zone if you really want to get back into it. What if it does break up? Not possible. Again, you have to break above the previous, like this is your market structure break. Okay, it already put in a low, so it has to go above here to be bullish and stop this from going down. Okay, AVE. Okay. Okay, so AVE took out the lows here, right? Swept the lows. Again, this is only contingent on ETH going higher, right? This will only follow ETH. So if ETH is going to stall here and we are at resistance, Jesus Christ. If we are at resistance here and ETH rejects, this will reject as well. So in my opinion, if you're looking to get this coin, either enter okay. Shorts here do make sense. I'm not a fan of how this coin moves. These wicks are ridiculous. But if you're looking too long, you would wait until this is flipped to support. okay? And then you can long with stops somewhere above, below here, okay? So it's going to look something like this. It's a conditional trade. Once we are up and flip it to support, stops below support, and you're going to target the supply zone. Okay, but then you have, multiple TPs, so TP1, TP2, something like that. Okay. Otherwise, again, you're looking for that triple bottom pattern. Here's the first touch, here's the sweep, come back down, and then third touch back into the highs. This is a short in my opinion. Smaller risk, but something like that. What the fuck? You guys are addicted to these meme coins. Simple range here on grass. We are at mid-range level or resistance. Okay, when we are at mid-range, I typically do not like to touch it because we could reject or put in deviation. So again, if we are looking at a range, we're going to play it as such. I'll go to a lower time frame as well. Now we've had multiple touches here, so this short's going to be risky. Okay. This is where we should reject. There is a supply zone and an order block. Okay. Also an SR point. Okay, rejection, flipped it to support, broke down, never retested it. Looks like a good area to short. If I were to draw fibs, probably you have a rejection point there as well. Yep, golden pocket lines perfectly. So good area to get into shorts there if you really want to. Low time frame, 4-hour support. Order block. This is going to be a weaker support because you have multiple touches. But if we do come down here, right, yes, you have the range low play, but here's a scalp possible, a scalp play as well. Okay, something like that. Simple range. I think I did this on my last stream because I don't really chart this, but if you guys were there, it perfectly played out. This bid filled, got a nice move up from it. Stop loss was not hit. About 8% move. Again, this hasn't really changed. This is still valid because, well, here's the low. Okay, so this is still valid. You can still take short or longs in that area. Now, if I were to take, this is another area, this would be a fair value gap that you could look to short. But again, remember I mentioned we had, you can take a look at last stream, but like we had the breakdown, right? A retest into this fair value gap. Also, the breakdown of this downtrend would be the area where you're looking to short. Stop somewhere above here. If I were to draw fibs, all right, good area to short as well. Probably stops a little bit there. Very, very wide stop. You have to lower your position size. Okay, but this was given. Nothing has really changed from the last stream in the setups. I think there is a bullish div. Yeah, there is a slight bullish div. So, if you really want to long here, stops below the wick to TP1 at the retest and TP2. This one's very risky, but the bullish div is there, right? Price making lower lows and RSI making higher lows. So I'll put that here. And this is still valid. I'd short if we go back up to here as well, by the way, but that's long way. Vanry. Is Justy still here? If he's not here, I'll skip him. But I think someone else had Vanry, so I'll do Vanry. Okay. Swept the lows here. Perfect order block as well. Same kind of setup. Let's make that pink. No divs. But we have a reclaim. Now this one's a little bit riskier. This one's a little bit riskier, but first touch, second touch, deviation, come back down to actually retest that. Lower position size, but this is still active. If you want a tighter stop, it'll be here, but that would be it. Short. Yep. Clear range here, right? There's your range. Deviation, back under, deviation, maybe back into the range here. Another long attempt would be if we don't get this one, break out, right? Consolidate. This would be a deviation of this side, and you would have some type of long with stop somewhere below here. I need the price action to go a little bit higher to tell you where, but this would be a range play. I don't know if you guys have noticed, I never get into anything at current market price. I always set limits and I wait. I never chase price action. I never chase women. I definitely don't chase men. So I let them come to me. If people want something, I let them come to me. Most likely the answer will be no to most, but that's how I roll. Okay. DYM. Absolute shitcoin. Yeah, this looks like doo-doo. I'd stay away from this coin. We swept the internal lows here. So again, if you are really looking to buy, no divs. If you're really looking to buy, this would be it. Like, you have easy invalidation, right? I would buy this on spot. Here are your lows. Once the lows are cut, that's when you manually sell. But here is resistance, and that's probably the big move you're going to get. So, you know, I'd look to short there, but if you're looking to spot buy, this would be it, and I cut once new lows are made. But this chart does not look great. I'd stay away from this coin personally. Injective. Okay. Okay. Clear range, deviation. Let's go to a lower time frame. I'm just going to plot out this giant supply zone. If we go there again, it's a short. Let's go to a lower time frame. Okay, here's 4-hour support. A lot of charts are going to look like this, right? We had a huge move down, consolidation into a bear flag, and then move down. We saw it with Bitcoin. Well, not really Bitcoin, but we saw it with ETH. We saw it with other coins as well, right? We're looking for that break above structure, come back down higher low, and then look to long. Now this one, I really like this pink color. This one, either, I don't remember the coin that we discussed, but it looks similar. Go back down into here. Stops below. Probably, you can have a tighter stop, or you can place it down here. Into a higher low here, or you're going to wait until this resistance is broken, right? Break above, come back down, put a higher low. You know, you long with your stop somewhere below here, target 1, and then target 2 would be here. This would be more of a swing play, but I expect rejection from here. This is much more better than that one. And if we go here, it's going to be short. Yeah, see, you have all the reason to take another short at this golden pocket, which is again the range. Play the range until broken, always. Just like you're going to play the trend until broken, right? Multiple touches from this trend line, again, did its job and swept the internal lows here, double equal bottom, equal lows, and then continue to grind higher. Here is Injective. Link. I have about 3 more coins left. Justy, I did Vanry. I don't know if I posted the chart. I think I did. Yeah, I did. All right, let's take a again, same kind of thing here. Now this looks a little bit cleaner. I cut my link position and I said I was going to buy at 18. I never bought at 18, so I'm kind of annoyed. But above this level, you can buy. If we get a deep retrace, not saying we will, but if we do into this order block, that is a long attempt. We reclaimed back this support here. Okay, so this looks good. Above here, then you can long with stops. Back to the range highs. Stops somewhere below here. If we are able to flip. Okay. This won't go high until this level is flipped to support. Right, we had multiple rejections from here. Right, again back under. So until this 24.8 to 25 level is flipped to support, this is not going to go higher. But if we do reject from here, look for there. Or above here, you long. Shorts. Maybe a short scalp here. Again, short scalp. Something like that. But the fact that we are back above the support is good for the time being. But if you want to buy lower, then this would be the area to buy lower. Anything from $18 down to 16 is your buy zone. If you want to buy here, that's okay. You can DCA down, but Link is not going to be a strong performer in my opinion. The only reason it was a strong performer here is because Orange Man looks more like Mustard now. Mustard Man was buying. So there you go. Link. AVAX? We did not do AVAX. I don't remember when I drew these, but it's bouncing from my lines. Notice how some of the consolidation zones, right, were like we are literally at resistance, and then some were a little below. And again, the structure for most of these look the same, right? So it's contingent upon certain criterias being met before we can long. Just like most of them is like, hey, break above the structure, you long. Otherwise, right, we go back down. Let me see something. Yeah, I was going to say this looks like it wants to be a little bit higher along with this support here. And everything is just a range, right? Very strong level that we have to get above to go higher. Stop loss placement. Let's go on a lower time frame to find that out. Yeah, something like that. Or again, above this level. Stop loss will be somewhere below here. All these charts literally look the same to me. Because once we have a big move down like that, when we have a small or slow grind up, they're all going to look the same, except some outliers, right, like XRP. Now, if you're looking to buy spot, one sec, let me see something. Some small bullish div. Right? If we come back down to make another higher low here, right, and hopefully comes back down. I don't want this to come back down to make a lower low, but if it comes back down to make a higher low here, bullish div most likely is still in play. It's not going to be a strong one like it was here, because we had lower low, lower low, higher low, higher low. It already did its move, but coming down to a higher low here makes sense. But if we break this 3362 and make another lower low, extend this out, okay, and this is making another lower higher low, that is a long. Yeah. So I'll put these plays here. Let me remove this because it's going to mess with some people. You never said you said never trade the range, or was it breakout? What coin? How is Link not bearish because of the reclaim? Yeah, Link reclaimed this level of support. So it's not completely bearish. Plus, we're at resistance here, so I wouldn't long it, but it looks a lot different than AVAX, right? Like here is resistance, and AVAX still hasn't broken structure. So Link is on the verge of breaking structure on a lower time frame. It's still in a downtrend, right? You still have lower highs and lower lows, okay? But above this level, make the first higher low, then you have a small reversal and possibly a small inverse head and shoulders forming here as well. So this looks much better than AVAX does. Yep. Okay. So that's it from me. I honestly think this is going to just be very slow. Tomorrow's news, I think everyone's waiting for tomorrow. We have CPI tomorrow, so I think the bulk of the volatility is going to come tomorrow. Maybe during Asia session, but I think the rest of American session is going to be slow. So we already had the volatility peak this morning after New York Open with PPI. Now we're just waiting for CPI. So don't kill yourselves if you guys can't find trades here. It's going to take like I think another 7-8 hours before we have real movement. Maybe Asia wakes up and they start selling again. But the bulk of tomorrow is going to be volatile. We might, be bullish going into it and then dump again afterwards. So just keep your eyes out on that. That's it from me, and I will see you guys next Tuesday.